You know, some people say you get an extra hour of sleep, but basically it's just, you know, an extra hour. For a lot of people, the kids are still going to get up early, right?
Time lapse.
Time lapse is a beautiful one this morning. The sun's going to be out today. It's going to be a little warmer than average. The average, by the way, is now 50 as we move into November. But we're going to be in the mid 50s today. It's already 39 degrees. Not bad at all. Beautiful shot of Minneapolis over the Brookview Golf Course. 40 in the metro for the low. At the airport, 34 in Wadena, 30 for our friends in Aiken, 37 Alexandria. We move up to the North Shore where temperatures were right above freezing in Moose Lake, 32 degrees, 33 in Eveleth, and 36 in Thief River Falls, 37 in Detroit Lakes. Good morning. 34 in Windham, 37 in Jackson, 32 in Wilmer, and 37 in Glencoe this morning. Rochester also at 37, Winona 36, 43 in Red Wing, and 39 for our friends in Menominee. Coming back home to the city, we have 37 in Lake Elmo, 37 as well in Glencoe. So everyone sitting in the upper 30s, basically mid to upper 30s, heading toward the mid 50s. There is a little bit of rain on the North Shore, but that's the only spot that could see a little bit today. But we do have rain coming in for tomorrow. We'll talk about that timing and of course have your 7-day forecast. But in the meantime, a beautiful start to November 2nd, 41 degrees right now. By lunchtime, high clouds and 51.
Back in the pocket, back in the winter pocket.
Yeah,
on
that's
our
right.
way. All right, thank you, Belle. With 3 days to go until the election, the candidates are crisscrossing swing states, leaving no stone unturned. Kamala Harris will travel to Atlanta, Georgia, and Charlotte, North Carolina for events today before heading to Michigan tomorrow. Donald Trump campaigns this weekend in Georgia, North Carolina, and Pennsylvania. Nearly 1 million Minnesotans have already cast their votes. And you still have time to vote early in person through Monday if you want to beat the lines and all that. But before you do, here's a few things to know. In Minnesota, you can register as part of the voting process. You can register when you go. If you plan to vote early, you can vote anywhere in your jurisdiction. But if you want to vote on Election Day, you can only do it at your designated precinct. If you're not registered to vote, you need to bring one proof of residence. The most common thing to do is show your Minnesota driver's license. If you don't have one, you can show another photo ID, including an out-of-state driver's license or a passport, something like that, and then have an additional document showing proof of residence in Minnesota. You got to show who you are and you got to show where you live. Also be aware of the dress code when you go to vote.
We can't have any campaign-related materials at the polling place, and that can include things like a pin, a button, a hat. So, you know, leave those at home when you head out to vote.
If you're voting by mail, your ballot must be returned by 8 p.m. Tuesday night. Election officials say to find a time before then to drop off your ballot at the election office in your area. The Crow Wing County Sheriff says a suspect is in custody after one man was shot and killed and a mother and her 4 kids abducted. Sheriff's office says they responded to a shooting in Oak Lawn Township, east of Brainerd, and found 62-year-old Lyle Maskey dead Friday morning. They say the gunman then abducted his pregnant girlfriend and their 4 children. That's when an Amber Alert was sent out, which helped them arrest the suspect after a tip from a resident. The woman and children were found safe hours later.
Tremendous effectiveness of the Amber Alert, and it worked just the way it was supposed to work. There was a very astute Morrison County resident who located that vehicle and matched it up to that Amber Alert this morning that he received and was able to call law enforcement.
Police say the investigation is ongoing. It is still unclear if, and if so, how these individuals are connected. This morning, police are still looking for the person who shot 3 people in Dinkytown on Halloween night. This happened near 13th Avenue and 4th Street Southeast, outside 2 popular spots for students just after the bar closed there. Campus police say a camera was recording, and they are hoping that footage will help identify who's responsible. Investigators say it appears several people were fighting before shots rang out there. The university spokesperson says none of the people shot were students. There's a new stop for mail making its way into Minnesota prisons. It's got to go through Maryland first. The Department of Corrections has signed an emergency contract with a company called Text Behind. That contract was more than $500,000 a year. That company will screen mail in Maryland copy it and send it back to Minnesota. So that's the screening filter. DOC signed that contract because of synthetic drugs, which have made their way into Minnesota prisons through the mail, killing and injuring inmates and staff members. Commissioner Paul Schnell says this will save them money in the long run, but more importantly, keep their population and staff safe.
I understand that there's a level of sensitivity and a personal nature that can be lost in that. At the same time, you can't let people die in prison. And we've had people die in prison.
That contract is per year, and Schnell says if it's successful, he could see it becoming an ongoing agreement.